Alright, so the BBC decided to copyright claim my Ben Shapiro analysis video. So let's talk about that. Now, something I really dislike is when people get on YouTube and complain about their copyright strikes and their copyright claims and the woe is me, because it's a story we've heard 1,000 times. And half the time, it's a little bit to just get more attention, right? Like the Steven Crowder one came to mind most recently, where he said, oh, we're going to have 3 copyright strikes, we might lose our channel, blah, 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 blah. But you know what I hate even more than people complaining about copyright claims? People abusing power. Let's talk about this copyright claim, because for better or worse, it's a large part of being a journalist and working in digital media in 2019. As if you have anything to do with video or audio or podcasting, you will encounter a lot of DMCA copyright laws that you're going to have to deal with. Now, the first thing that really irritates me about the fact that the BBC News decided to claim my entire 24-minute long analysis of the Ben Shapiro interview is, one, I work for a large, major news media company in the United States, and I control their YouTube channel. And you know what I don't do with this massive media company's YouTube channel? Is go around striking small YouTube creators' videos if they use our content. I just don't do it. I have the power to do it. I could bring the full might of this media organization and its, copyright abusing apparatus if I so chose. But as long as I'm there, it's going to behave ethically, because I view fair use as a legitimate claim. And so I allow people on YouTube to make videos using the media company's content. So from an insider perspective, I understand exactly how it works. You get a notification saying there is X part of match of this video. Would you like to file a takedown? Would you like to claim this video? Would you like to take all the money from them? That's what BBC News did to me. They filed a claim on the video, and it's now pending for the next 30 days, where they just rake in all the views and all the money off that video. Now, I filed a dispute immediately on it, and I explained to them why it was fair use, which I'll get into later. But the second part that bothers me is, as I sit here in New York City, working in modern digital media companies, not only do I not abuse the power of the media company that I have, I go and call my boys over at The Verge when they're over there striking YouTubers for, commenting on videos that The Verge has made that, were incorrect, and then they were getting copyright striked. I went over there and texted and called and said, yo, guys, what are you guys doing? Release those claims. Talk to the editor-in-chief and get those claims released. Your lawyers are not behaving correctly here. Not only are they not behaving correctly, these YouTubers are fully within their right to have these videos. It's bad PR. Don't copyright claim them. And 2, that's actually an abuse of the system. You're silencing creators by doing that. So not only do I call people at other media companies and tell them, hey, yo, lay off that. Don't be copyright striking YouTubers. I don't do it myself at the media company I work for, and I am the owner of the YouTube channel. I control the entire YouTube channel. So, from the inside perspective of with any media company, I find it very irritating that BBC News did this, because they manually claimed it. So let's get into this. They manually claimed it, and I know they manually claimed it because I sped up the clips I used by about 125 to 130%. Now, the reason why I did this is twofold. The first one, and the first reason why I did this, is I sped it up because I wanted to just get past the YouTube algorithm. Now, the YouTube algorithm is scanning and archive a library of footage that other media companies have uploaded. And what it does is it looks for matches. It looks for partial matches, 100% matches, and it compares that clip with other clips that are circulating on YouTube. Now, by speeding up the clip, what it tries to do, what I was attempting to do, is bypass that YouTube algorithm that would cause a matching clip. That would cause like, hey, BBC, we found matches, right? Ding, 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 like the automatic algorithm. So by speeding that up, it's not going to get a direct match, and the YouTube algorithm is going to pass over it. Okay, so that means they manually claimed the video. Now, on top of that, that alone does not just make it fair use. Just speeding up the video doesn't make it fair use. But the reason why I sped up the video and sped up the clips was, 1, it's boring to just listen to people talk to, so we get through it faster. But 2, it tries to avoid just the YouTube stupid algorithm system that cannot distinguish context of any video. All it does is distinguish matches. So by speeding it up, it forces somebody to actually watch the video to understand the context of the video and see if they are using the clips or the intellectual property in an appropriate manner, which I was. So there's 4, let's talk about, if you want to learn something, maybe you, the BBC, if you're watching this, you will learn something about fair use as well. There's 4 things you look at when it comes to fair use. okay? And we'll go through them. Now, part of the reason why I know this is I've worked at various media companies, and a large part of my job is dealing with media lawyers at all of these companies. I'm quite well versed in modern digital copyright law with media and news companies. If I can pick apart your journalists, I can probably pick apart your lawyers as well. What I made was entirely fair use. So let's go number 1, 2, 3, and 4. What are the things that a court system looks at for fair use? 1, is it transformative in nature? My video is transformative in nature. What are the criteria they look for that make it transformative in nature? Well, is it criticism? Yes, it is. Is it commentary? Yes, it is. Is it educational? Yes, it is. Is it reporting or parody? Yes, it is. 1, it is newsworthy. I made that video while I was still in the news cycle of Ben Shapiro and that interview blowing up virally. Was it educational? Well, according to Twitter, see right here, it is educational. Is this person saying, oh, these are the kind of videos that you should learn in journalism class? 3, was it criticism? Yes, I was critiquing the interview. Was it commentary? Yes, it was commentary. Now, how do you define criticism and commentary? Well, there's 2 salient, recent court cases that fall under and define what fair use is, especially for YouTube creators. One being the classic H3H3 case that fell heavily in favor of Ethan and Ela Klein, right? It was a matter of law. They were fully within their realm to comment on Matt Hosendach's channel. It was fair use. The second case is 3 Equals LLC versus Jukin Media. Now, Jukin Media filed a lawsuit against 3 Equals LLC saying, you're using our viral clips and commentating on them. That is an infringement of our intellectual property. You cannot do this. This went to court, and you know what the court found? They ruled in favor of 3 Equals Plus LLC. And 3 Equals Plus LLC was a commentary channel commenting on these viral videos. And they ruled in favor of 3 Equals Plus, not Jukin Media. Once again, it falls within their commentary, criticism, and education. That video meets all the qualifications. Now, the second part that a court system looks at is the type of published work. Is it an unpublished work or is it a published work? This is a pretty simple one to answer. This was a published work. It was a published interview. Why does this matter? The court looks more favorably towards work that's unpublished, right? If somebody had it just, as a diary in their notebook, and then you grab their diary and publish the diary online, that would not be considered fair use. So this is a published work. 3, what is the percentage of original property used versus the new material? How transformative is it? If there's 20 seconds of me talking and then I just play the entire interview in chronological order, well, how much fair use is that? Well, I talk more than the interview that I play. And on top of that, I warp the interview. I change the speed of the interview, making sure it's not a market substitute. That's another aspect the court looks at. Is this product a direct market substitute for the other? No, it's not. You still would want to watch the full interview if you wanted to watch the full interview. Not only do I splice up the clips as I talk about them, making it transformative, making it educational, making it newsworthy, it's not a market substitute. Not only am I cutting them up, I'm speeding it up. So you're not getting anywhere close to the original product at all. So you can't make that argument, BBC lawyers. 4th argument is there a direct market harm to BBC News? No, there's definitely not. As once again, this is not a direct market substitute for the original product at all. This is a commentary, criticism, and educational video that is to teach and inform people about how journalists operate. And I'm using it as an example. So no, I am not causing any market harm to the original product or BBC News. An average viewer, the court would find that an average viewer would still watch the other interview in totality if they so chose. And in fact, in the previous cases I quoted, like 3 Equals and the H3H3 case, the courts found that, if anything, these videos would encourage an audience to watch the original video for further context or would further the audience's engagement to watch the original materials. In some ways, layman's terms, it's acting as promotion for the original piece of content. Which, in a lot of ways, the video I made is what it does. It acts as a promotion, like, oh, this is interesting. Hopefully it's an interesting dissection. Maybe I'll go watch the full unedited interview, that's not sped up, that doesn't sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. But no. BBC News is going to copyright claim it anyway, despite it falling completely under all 4 categories of fair use. Now, in order for this to have occurred, they manually claimed it, which means they must have seen the video, right? At least watched part of it. They then chose to claim it anyway, despite that it was been sped up, despite that I put in the text on the video that this is fair use, right? I'm speeding this up for fair use, despite that they can see I'm cutting up the clips for context and for criticism and for educational purposes, right? They still chose to claim it manually. ridiculous. On top of that, they're breaking their own rules here, because even then, a lot of news companies try to circumnavigate around the system if they don't have fair use, purposes. They'll try to claim something as newsworthy and publish it anyway. Now, I could even argue my fair use criticism educational video still falls under the realm of newsworthy alone, and that the Ben Shapiro video was taken off, it was viral, it was in the news cycle, it was in the conversation, and therefore I have a right, at least arguably so in the court's eyes, to publish corollary material along with it, as it is, quote, newsworthy. Nope. Instead, the BBC News is claiming my entire video, and now here's what happens. If you guys are curious, here's the process. So now I've explained, one, what fair use is, what falls under fair use. What are the reasons why a court may view something as fair use, why they may view it as not fair use, a couple of recent court cases, and how they've ruled. Here's what happens. So BBC News claims the entire video. That means they get to monetize the entire video, and they claim my video that I made as their intellectual property. I then can dispute it, saying no, release the claim, this is my intellectual property, this falls under a fair use doctrine. But they have 30 days to respond, and in those 30 days, it just continues to be monetized for the BBC News. Now, the BBC News can then go back and say, nope, it's still going to be ours, and we're just going to strike the video, and we're going to give you a YouTube channel copyright strike, which they could do. BBC News is a large company, and I'm a small YouTuber. If they did that, I find that very annoying to the extent that I might pursue it in the way that H3H3 pursued their fair use case, just because apparently more precedents need to be set so that large organizations cannot bully smaller organizations merely because they see dollar signs, I'm unsure, or they employ people with such a weak and willfully ignorant knowledge of the contemporary landscape of modern intellectual copyright laws that they just go around flagrantly abusing their power on YouTube. This is such a common occurrence that it blows my mind, and why I make it such a point as the owner of the YouTube channel at this major media company to not copyright claim videos by other YouTubers, and to call and text people over The Verge when they're doing the same thing and tell them to cut it out. It boggles my mind. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully you guys learned something. If you guys are going to consider being journalists or enter the media field, this is what it looks like. Here's what fair use is. Here's the things you have to deal with. Anyway, if you guys want to watch tomorrow, I'll be back to my regular programming as I continue to wage war on BBC News. Hopefully, if you're watching this BBC News, you guys learned something as well about fair use. Thanks as always for watching, guys. If you want to watch another video, you can click around. Thanks, guys. See you tomorrow.